guys. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, that's kind of a odd. Oh, it looks so pale. Pale. Hang on one second. Welcome today, you guys. We are in such a fun event. Uh, Joyful Artistry by Heidi is she is hosting our event today, and so we will be going until early evening. And I hope that you will stay and watch all of our presenters here today. We're going to make some fun things. And I know, everybody likes for you to come on and chit chat with them, and we will have some fun. So, and we'll be, you can watch everybody in the Crafty Bunch today. The Crafty, if you haven't been over there on Facebook, it's the easiest way to find it is the Crafty Bunch venue. Guys, I could turn my fan on. Whoo, 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 whoo. So, hang on one second. I have got to get my comments up here so I can see as people pop in. Oh, you guys, I dumped over my big covered cup of water right at the last minute. So I had to grab a towel and I'm sopping that up because, I got stuff in the floor and it's probably some paper. So I had, yeah, this and its whole lid fell off. So that was no bueno. Oh, okay, you guys. Oh, everybody's popping in now. Howdy, howdy. Hi there, Linda and Carol and Rose. Rose. Oh my gosh. I have cold brain, when you got something going on, even your brain doesn't think right. Isn't that right? So, Jenny, Jenny from Rose House Craft, she was on just before me. So that was fun. And then following me is going to be Ann's Create and Share. So that was, we're gonna got a whole lineup, you guys. So stay with us. If you're watching in the Crafty Bunch, all you have to do is just go ahead and refresh your browser between people, and then you'll see the very next person. Now today, and I love this theme. You guys, maybe I'll have to not talk as much today to keep from coughing, right? Oh my gosh. Hi Pam, hi Jeanette, Linda, I think I said hello. But today I'm going to be crafting using pages from my Home for the Holidays Comfort and Cheer printable collection. So it's kind of a cozy winter set designed for journaling and folios. You can make tags or just some kind of warm seasonal products and projects. And some of the things are going to be there's some full page designs which fit fine, if you're going to fold them in half, in your journals, or you can use them for other things that you can print out. Now, the fun thing about printables, and I saw in Cheryl, if anybody was watching the other night, Cheryl from Mama P's Crafty Creations, she was using printables and she was printing on other papers. And, that is a great thing. You don't have to just print, oh my gosh, you don't have to just print on regular paper. You can take other papers. Like she was using some things that were, like ledger pages or something like that. And man, she had some that were old papers, and man, they were sturdy. Hey, Ann and Maritza, Dana, Virginia, Deshelle. You guys, thanks for popping on today. So without further ado, let me point you down here to the desktop. Let me pull over my papers here. I'll get you pointed down here. You know what? Let me fix that. The other day I was so miserable and I thought, you know what? Nobody needs to watch this. Nobody needs to see me. Let me see here. Well, where is it? Now I can't get rid of that. There we go. There we go. Here I am. All right, so here, oh man, what happened here? I think in the big trying to clean up water, there's no telling what happened up there. Hi, Dina. Thank you. So here's our pages. I've got everything cut out, you guys. Now the pages are the opacity on the pages is lowered quite a bit, so that gives you a chance to, you know, be able to add things onto them or write on them, you know, without them completely overpowering your book. Now I was thinking, well, I really wasn't going to do this one, and I thought, oh no, that would be fun. I just put that one in the center. So the, what I have done is a lot of these, I've taken the full sheet designs and I have just, you know, printed the back sides. So I've got all of my little cut aparts and extra things. I've got them here. Oh, you guys, I found this. It came across my feed, and it's actually from like a sewing thing, and it was for like little projects. And I've never seen anything like it. It's got these gusseted pockets, and I tell you what, I am loving them, and they have helped me stay way more organized than I normally am, and which is a good thing. So we'll go through here as I pop through here and fold these. You can see I tried to cut off the white edges. I don't really like that, but look, when you've printed something double-sided and you've got those white edges on both sides, then you have got you know, sometimes you don't get it trimmed off on both sides, but you know, that's fine. I can do that later. And so now what's going to happen is as I fold these in half, when I go through and I put them together, some of them I might have to go and fold them back the other way, so that then I get, you know, some of these pages like as we turn. So then like this one could be like this, and then it, you know, then you've got two, you know, two things like this, and you can go through. So that's how we're gonna, I'm just gonna kind of go through quickly and do that. Oh, you guys, oh, nobody's gonna want this journal after I've had to, well, I got two of them there. I tell you what, having to wipe your nose, at least there's Kleenex, right, you guys? Oh my gosh. So we're just gonna fold these real quick, and you'll get a chance to see what they're, and then this one is kind of just like a knit. Isn't that fun? Hey Sue, hi Lori, Sherry. All right, and you guys, if you see anybody on here that you don't follow, be sure and check them out. You might find your new favorite crafter, you know. And when I was trimming the whites off, I was just throwing these over to the side. I was sitting in my big chair in the bedroom with my feet put up. You'll see some of these are going to have to be, you know, after I always do this, then I go through, no thanks Sue, I go through again and then decide where I want the things, so that you've got a nice, and see here's one of them that it still has, it's still got some overlays and fun textures on it, so it's not just plain, but you know, you could use this for a variety of stuff. Now this one, yeah, I had to check, make sure the text is right. I do not want to put things with my text like upside down. So, and sometimes when it's that scripty stuff, you got to kind of take a second look at it. Here's another one that's kind of a full page, but see, when you fold it in half, then you've still got a nice look on both. You know, that'll be fun to just see that part or this part. You still get two nice views, even like that. Cozy socks, you guys, I had to throw this in. Some of my girls love cozy socks. Me, I'd rather not have shoes and socks on at all, to tell you the truth. But when I saw that, I'm like, oh, so many people love their cozy socks. I will say right now, though, I've got some of those little fluffy footies on with the like Gerber bottoms, and they look like elf shoes. Hey, that's not so bad with my green shirt today, right? Gosh, you guys, I apologize. Nobody wants to listen to that, but, you know, I said I would be here, and here I am. You've sewn a signature upside down. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff with signatures, so I know what you mean to show. Oh my gosh, yeah. Did you take it out and fix it? I don't know how many times I've had to do that. Hey, Lori from my Peddler's Alley, how are you? Now this, wait. Okay. Gotta make sure this one's right. Well, and I can do that as I, lay them together, right? And sometimes, let me show you what happens sometimes. When you've got a print and because these have been, okay, because I printed them on both sides, the front sides all have, it's like an entire, the entire collection is on the front side. But then what happens is when you start adding the other things that are kind of, maybe you do another page that's also the double-sided, which I did on this one. And so sometimes if you do something like that, and then you want to put it with one of the other ones that looks like it, then if you do this, then you've still got this, you've got another one of that same layout. Now, if you like that, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Now look at this. If you put this together, look, then you've got, another cozy knit over here, and it looks fine because you've got, your blankety thing over there, your Afghan or whatever. So, you never know until you get them all folded and then you start putting them together, right? Whether you want to switch them around or whatever. And that was it. Those were extras. I had to redo these. I printed these on some heavier paper for the tags and stuff. And then when I did these, and for any of you that collect these in the newsletter, this was what came out last week. I have redone that entire file, and it's on the, in the newsletter. It tells you where to go to pick up the parts of the collection that you may not have, downloaded yet, or if you missed it from the newsletter or whatever. It also, if you're just signing up for the newsletter, then what happens is that's the link you get so that you still can get the entire collection that's available that month. You can still get it even if you didn't get, because I don't have a way to send you the past newsletters. Well, so when I printed this out, I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done here? Because those were too big for my my pages. So what I did was I went back in and I've got them turned this way. So now they fit better. So so I'm sorry. I don't know what in the world I was thinking with that. Actually, then, and then when I turned it around, I'm like, it still doesn't hardly look like it would be wrong, but it was just enough wrong. But I fixed it. I fixed it for you guys. Your Santa was upside down. Well, that would be a sure thing that you would notice, right? That would make a big difference. Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. All right. Hey, Dolores. Hi, Carol. Okay. So now what we want to do is, remember I said I know what one I want in the middle. I want this one as my middle layout because then as it opens up, even though it's not very bright, I want that in the middle. And so, I don't know. Now I'm just gonna, what? Why don't we just start popping these things in here? Well, I don't want too many of those sweatery prints all together, do I? Who knows? Well, that's kind of pretty. It doesn't really matter, you guys. They're going to all be pretty no matter where you get them placed in the book. I kind of like that. Here's a cup down here. It's real pale. Oh, look, you can see it better in the camera. I love this. Oh, this would be kind of pretty with the green socks. I like that. Let's see here. And I sometimes like it to where you've got two really soft looks together, because then that gives you pages that are easy to decorate or add other things to. Now, you can add all of your, whatever you want to add. This collection would be pretty much complete, and you could just use the collection as it is and have a quick way to, make a journal. And like any of you who do any kind of journaling, that you can add whatever you want. Any kind of papers you've got, old envelopes, whatever. Gosh, seems like I got a bunch of those. I think probably because I did those on they were probably the back side of some of them. So, and sometimes it's easy to just make the back side all the same thing, which you could use, like if you wanted to do the back side in all this one knit print, you know, you could do that. It just doesn't matter. Now that one's gonna have, oh, let's do this. This will be pretty. Let's fold this in here. You probably are like going, do we really want to see her deciding all of these? Well, since she only printed them last night, you know, I don't know why. I never even thought about this. And I'm like, well, what? Because I kept thinking, well, what am I going to do for that theme? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I'm like, well, gosh, why don't I use my collection? Because that would be, that's kind of a perfect coordinating set for that theme. Sometimes you just don't think about it, do you? But it all comes together. It comes together in the end. And so some of these you got to decide, do you want the, you know, which one do you want together? Oh, you guys, this is probably boring. Look, I got my nails done yesterday. My husband goes, you went over there like that? I go, I wore a mask. I go, they always wear masks too. So I go, we're all masked up. All of us are masked up and ready to go. Okay. Man, yeah, I tell you what, it's almost like by doing some of these on the back side, I've ended up with a lot of some of these. Okay, that's going to be the middle. And look, I don't even mind this because this gives me another whole spread like that. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now I gotta decide where to put this one. I got one more of these. But you know, when you've got multiples of some of these, it gives you a lot of, oh well, even if that's the same page. Okay, I think, let's call that good. Oh, then you got to kind of remember what you want on the first page. I don't mind that. That's kind of fun, right? Okay, let's do that. So let's go ahead and bind these. Now, I don't know yet what I'm going to do for a cover yet, but it doesn't matter because I can go ahead and bind these. And you know, I love those slip spine covers. So if you're going to use a slip spine, you know, does it really matter anyway? Let me grab some of my little clippies here so we can hold it together as we get our spine in place. You guys, I just saw my little, I wondered what happened to that little journal I made that I decided was too big, and I used the wrong paper on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these all stacked up. And I like to, well, I tell you what, there's things about journals that bother me. And some of you guys, I don't think you care. But, you know, one of the things that I really have trouble with is the fact that then, you know, as you fold them and then your pages are all wonky. And I always just want to trim them so they're all straight, like when you fold it over, so they're straight along here. But then when you open them, then they're shorter. So I've just decided over the years that I'm just going to live with it. And so what I do is after I get them all done like this, then I just make my cover big enough to cover it all. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. Right? What do you guys do? Do you guys care that those are... Oh, and here's my other question. When you use printables, do you care if it has... You know, and this is the thing. When you do it on printer paper, you've got those white edges, which sometimes they are very... You know, it's a harsh white compared to what this is. And that's one of the reasons I trimmed it off. But if you're using something like Cheryl was using those old ledger pages, when you use something like that, you don't have nearly the... you know, it's not such a harsh edge. You've got something that's a nice aged color already. Okay, so we're just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And so you need about 3 times your length or your height of your book. And then we'll do that. Yeah. No, you're not. And sometimes I just think, am I just being silly? But I don't like them. And I would, and sometimes I've even inked the edges. I tell you, if I was going to ink all the edges, I need to get one of those other kinds of brushes, like the big ones that you see people do for the ink, they're a big size. I think sometimes if you can't find them, if you look for an ergonomical blending brush, you can find them like that. I'm sorry. So, and I didn't get out, I've got a whole little drawer that has my pokey stuff in it, and I should have gotten out either another needle. I bought some longer, skinny, sharp needles to use, but you know where I put them? I put them with my sewing stuff, which may not have been the best idea. Okay, that one doesn't work. I've got a couple of pokey tools that are not really designed for paper crafting, and they don't have a super great hole. Okay, I mean, the tips are not really that great. Okay, so now I'm just going to fold here, and I'm just going to give it a little, you know what, I did this just backwards of what I always tell people to do. Oh my gosh. I like to do the 2 outside edges, the top and the bottom, and then I eyeball the middle. Man. Okay, so now, and I like to keep another couple of needles that I just stick in here. It's kind of my placeholder. I do about 1 inch from the top and the bottom. Hi, Callie, how are you doing? You always make your cover just a little bigger. Yeah, right? Then you don't have to do it so much, but... So yeah, so who messes with your edges? Who cuts them off? Who leaves them? How many of you have printed on other kinds of paper? What kind of paper have you used that you thought you would, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so great. I would do that again. Share your tips. Share your tips and tricks. Okay. Gosh, I need a thimble or something. Who knew you needed thimbles for doing paper crafts? There we go. Okay, and the last one. Right. Then we'll get to doing some fun stuff. Good grief, I can't believe I took that long doing that. Well, if I wouldn't have sat here blabbing, I'd probably been faster, right? And I've just... My little rubber tip thing, I have pushed it clear off of here, and now it's painful. Okay, I think that's enough. If I can just get the little needle through, we'll be good. I think the other needles I got might be, they're sharp. They are sharp little needles. And they're strong. Whatever it said about them, I'm like, oh gosh, I need those. I think it said they're stainless steel. Okay, now, here we go. It's on with the show. You're going to try printing on the other type of paper. Yeah, do that. All you got to do is you got to cut it to the size that'll go in your printer. And then you're good to go. Oh my gosh, how many of you were watching Cheryl the other night? How many of you ordered your tracing paper? I didn't get mine ordered yet. But that's so cool. And, I've seen people use tracing paper for stuff, and I always think, I gotta get some tracing paper, because there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with tracing paper. Now, I actually have I've run tissue paper, white tissue paper through the printer, and done that. And I tell you what, that's kind of that's something on its own, because what you have to do is you have to take your paper and you have to get it really flat. In fact, I've ironed it before. And then when you get it all flattened out, then you've got to tape down the edges. Like either your print can't run all the way to your edges. You have to, like, you can fold over the edges, like the top edge of your paper. Like say this is you've got a piece of regular typing paper, or I'm old, typing paper. You take your printer paper and then you take your tissue paper. I have cold brain. Your tissue paper, and then you lay it here, and then you have to tape along the edge so that it can grab and go through. And you have to make sure that it's really flat on all the edges, because if your paper isn't flat as it goes through the printer, any part of it that is like sticking up, it's gonna catch ink as your ink, things, whatever, your carriage goes back and forth, and it will get little lines. You guys, I got a dog over here that's bugging me. Hang on. Come on. Go. And you're special when you're a dog old enough that then they make allowances for you to bother them during their lives. He wanted to go out in man cave. All right. And so then we just pull it back here, kind of release enough to go back to the middle, and then we'll just tighten it all up as we pull it back. How many of you know how to do a 5-hole stitch? Sometimes if I've got smaller papers that I've used, I'll do a 5-hole so that it catches everything. Okay, I'm going to take these off so I can lay it down here flat and tighten this good. You guys, I have a little magnet that's over here, and it's great to catch some of these little things. You bought some tracing paper and old typing paper. Sometimes when we go to estate sales, I find some great things. They'll have like things from people's desks and stuff. I have found some great like old linen paper. And what else have I got? Even old typing paper, because it is old enough that it's aged. It's turned aged. And a lot of times paper doesn't have to be that old before it gets that look. And I should have run this to the other side before I took my needle off. So you want one of those on each side. And then just tie it. You can tie a little bow. I like to first tie a knot, so then I didn't pay attention. I like to do a square knot, which is you change directions of which one is on top, and I forgot to pay any attention to that. And then we'll just tie a bow. Or you don't have to tie a bow. You can just cut off. Gosh, I don't know if I've left enough for a bow. I could fuss around with it and get it on here. Goodness. Okay. All right, now we're just going to run through here and glue some other goodies on. Look, that kind of makes the door look like a package. You would love to see a 5-hole stitch. Oh, Janet, I can't do it for you today. I don't have something to do it on. I've already used these. I'll do that for next time. Or you know what? I should do like just a little short clip and do that, because people could save that and have that for their reference. In fact, I'm not sure I don't do it often enough. I might even have to pull out my reference again. I keep a reference for that too, because I can't ever remember. Okay, so now we've got some pockets and flaps here. Let me show you. One of the sets of pockets are these diagonal pockets. So these are both on one sheet. So what you do is you take them and you snip them here. Snip them up the middle. Where's my big scissors? It's so much easier to cut a long straight line with these big Tim Holtz scissors. That's why I bought them. I saw a lady one time at a crop use them. I go, what in the world kind of scissors do you have that you can just whack off a great paper and it be straight? And so she told me about them. I'm like, well, that's fabulous. Okay, so here's what you can do with these. You can either just use them as a single pocket, you know, like this. You could use them like that. You can, well, it looks like even though these were sized as half sheets, it looks like they're going to have a little bit of a haircut to, you know, to fit into our pages, which that's fine. I mean, my goodness, we all have scissors, right? Okay, so here's what you can do. You can either use it as one side tuck pocket. You can layer them like this. You could do a 3-layer pocket and then still have one left over for somewhere else if you wanted to. So I think that's fun. I think I only want to use a single one here. Let's see, how much do we have to take off? Maybe I'll just put one right here, because I kind of like the lights here, because here's the tree. Gosh, about 1/8 of an inch. Let me just do it quick on this. So 1/4, 1/8. Let me see. Let's see if that works. And I bet it's going to be different for each one that you do, depending on, you know, how you've trimmed your pages or whatever. You don't want it to go clear in. I think I'm going to trim a little bit more. In fact, you know, I think I'll just do it on this side. Well, no, because this side's flat and I can get a straight edge. It's always easier if you've got a straight edge to bump up against the one side of your paper trimmer, right? So we've got this. We could just put this right here. Now some of these I did these on a little bit. Did I? This one wasn't, but some of them I did on I stepped up the quality of the paper. Oh, look at that. Then you've got that one over there. Oh, now that would have been fun. Well, I'm still going to use this one. Still going to use the one I planned. You wonder what it would look like if you printed a design. Oh, hey, I've seen some things like that, Jamie, and they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Janet, now I feel bad saying something about that, and now I can't even show you that right off the bat. I promise I will, though. I promise I will do it here in a few days, sometime shortly. You guys, I've had too much inhaler. I feel jittery. I got the jitters. Plus, sometimes I don't get enough glue coming out that I kind of have to jiggle it back and forth to get it on there. Now we got our cozy lights here. You know, and it doesn't have to be right up to the edge on all of it, but you can't run all of these to the edge there. Because then they get to where they don't close good if you got it in there. Or you can, you know, I could have left one side open. I should have done that. Then you got a better tuck spot. And then I've got some of these. These are on, I printed mine on a little bit of, well, this is index weight paper. And so I made some of these real big ones. I thought, oh, that'd be fun, and you could just journal on them or something and tuck them in there. Oh, let's put a gold one there. Oh, no, let's not. Let's put a red one. Look at that. You guys, I forgot to print out my word strips. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Susan, how are you? Yeah, I forgot to do that. Okay, and then we've got some of these. These are like a flap. So I made the door so you can have your door. Now, it's got a line across here for us to score. So I'm going to put one end there and one in the other track. And try it, hold it down. Okay. Oh, Janet, you're a sweetie. Thank you. And now we're just going to fold it along here. And then we've got a little glue tab. Let's decide where to put this one. I'm going to just put all of these. Oh, I kind of like this. I like the darkness on both sides. Ooh, I like that. Likey. We'll just pull a glue. Yeah, I wish I would have done this on a different weight paper. Well, actually, after I printed the pages, I wish I would have done them on a different weight paper. But, you know, by then I already had it, and I could tell that my printer was going to have the print heads clean. I was going to have to run that, you know, thing on the printer to do the print head, the cleaning. Yeah, because I was starting to get some little lines that I could see. You can't see it there. Thank goodness. So look, then we've got this nice little, I'll give it another press in here. And then you can put something in here. I like that. Let's see. What else have we got? Let's do the red door one. Where should we put the red door? So same thing. We're just going to score it along the line. Gosh, better be wait. Yeah, when you score paper that's not very heavy, you really have to be careful so you don't punch through. Where should we put our red door? Let's put it back farther. And we've got, you know what? We've ended up with a lot of really soft open spaces without the other pages. Quite a few of them. The double-sided. Ooh, I like that one. I don't even remember thinking about that one going together like that. I like that. Actually, I'm going to put my red door right there. Thanks, Heidi. What a fun theme for an event, Heidi. Good job. Well, and thank goodness I got some. Well, I didn't really get it exactly where I wanted it, but it'll work. And then if they don't match up exactly, this is a tiny smidgen too long. You can go back in and trim them. But look, then you've got these fun little, you know, flaps and flips and all that good stuff. Why don't let's do our layered pocket back here. Why don't we do that? So I'm going to have to cut a smidge off of these. I guess as long as I get the bottom off, it's not going to matter, right? You know, and you actually could, if you were going to cut more of it, you could actually give a little bit of a border on each side of the page and then just make it look like that was what it was supposed to be, right? I'm just going to do 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, I can see on these red ones, I can really see where my printer was starting to get tired. I gave it a workout last night. I am sure we are going to have some fabulous fun things. Yeah, I didn't get to finish watching Jenny, but what I saw was she was making some fun stuff. And I love sometimes the great techniques that we learn from each other, right? Okay, so this one has to be in the middle. We got one on the bottom. Oh, no, let's put this one. That one has more ornaments there. So let's put that one down here. And let's put this one here. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I think, oh man. Are they not cut straight? What's going on here? There we go. Well, kinda. Well, I'm not going to fret about it. How about that? Let me put it down farther. Actually, no, I want them to crisscross. This is what I want to do. I want the corners on this side. I want that corner to crisscross, like it come like it's a ribbon going back and forth. You know, like folding over. I think I'll like that better. Well, in light of that, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to put this like this. And I'll glue that, and I can see. And actually, I don't know how far this side comes up. I don't know. Wow! A fan blew it away. And then I can straighten the edges and get them straight. Okay, there, that's my little pocket there. And then we'll do that one here. Now, if I was smart, I'll put my glue here and I'll know where it starts on that side. Okay. So I like how it makes it look like it's kind of folded back and forth. Like that. Man, that's really blowing a lot more than normal. There. Yeah, and if you ink the edges, it would even, you know, bring it to life more than that. And oh my gosh, you guys are probably so sick of me doing this. This is what happens when I don't pay attention. Where's my ink? Where's my ink? Well, good question. Well, here's one. This one's called Gathered Twigs. It's a little bit darker brown, but it'll work. Oh, here. Let me use one of my mistake pages. We'll use that. Just get a little color there. Now what you can do is you can stick it in here. And you still have a second chance to ink. I like to, pockets and things like that when they are covering each other. I just think they really look so much better when you give them a little zhuzh of color. It just helps them stand up more. Hey Cheryl, how are you? Hey Pam. Oh my, you must have directed that at me, and I got a whole area. We've got to get that done. That's part of what has to happen after this. Okay, so then I'm just going to glue that on there. Now those pockets already have, you know, been glued down here, so they can only go that far. And then this one, the big one, we'll just do around, and then it can be a longer pocket. So I think that's a good way to use that one, right? And look, this is what it looks like on the back side. Not that pretty on the back side, but it's okay. It will work. And then you've got things for shorter things to put in your stacked pockets, or the other. Okay, and I'll just put that here. Now I'm gonna, oh goodness, I'm just gonna leave a little bit of a border, and I want to make sure, let me push it just a tiny bit to make sure it's got a little bit of give. All right. Oh, my calendar's telling me that I'm going to be live when I'm done. Well, to be fair, Anne traded places with me. She was so sweet to trade a spot with me. I was supposed to have a call, and now that's not going to work out. So, Here's some, this, I printed this on a little bit heavier card. Here's some marshmallows. You could put your marshmallows just like this. You could use it at the top. You could use it at the bottom for a, where's one of those with the cups? And if you wanted to, you could even fussy cut the bottom of the marshmallows out. That'd be kind of fun. I didn't realize there was still blue stuck on the bottom of those. They look kind of goofy. And then some of these other things, you know, I did some fun cutouts. I did fussy cuts that have a little bit of space around the edges in case you didn't want to fussy cut them. This could be a tuck spot, except I'd rather have that somewhere where there's one of those cups. Let's find one. Where's the cups? Oh, there's one. That'd be kind of fun. Could put that there. I don't know. There's so many options, you guys. So many options. There's a few pieces that are... Oh! I cut a couple of envelopes. Here's some more flaps. We got 2 flaps that are the knit look. I wanted to do the envelopes for you. What's this? Oh, here's a big, we got 2 big pockets. Let's put those on somewhere real quick. I don't know what to do with my cookies yet. Now sometimes if you've got one of these and you want to do a pocket, I need to trim this off. Okay, let's find one of these in the, if we can find the matching page. Is this it? No, it's on the other side. What is the other side of that? Oh, I can probably find it here. No, that's not really it either, is it? Yeah, it is. So sometimes you can match your page. Let's put a tiny bit of color on here. Some of these would have been pretty with a little bit of red ink. As long as you've got something that you can kind of see the edge, I think it helps a lot. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue this one here. I like to do that. I do that kind of often. Oh, well, shoot. Well, wait, do we want to use this one instead? I don't know. Well, if we do this, we'll have a pocket and we can still decorate something there. Let's go ahead and do that anyway. Wait. No, I don't want ink on that, or I don't want glue on that. Yeah, no, I don't. We're way behind with Christmas wrapping. How about the rest of you? Anybody got theirs done? Okay, there. I don't want that top to stick. I need to hold that up a second to make sure it doesn't. Okay. Okay. So then you could take that, and if you've got some of your fun little things, then you could, you know, you could use, oh, hey, I'm going to put, let's see, I wish it was going the other direction. Well, are all my cups going the same way? I don't know. I'm going to put this here and put a, let's just put glue on part of it, and it can be a tuck spot. Except I'm going to grab my knife here and cut out a little bit here in the center. And you don't have to be super exact. It has a little bit of color around the edge, so you don't have to, you know, worry about, oh, that's hard. Oh, I don't know if my knife is very exacto. That could be a problem. Oh my goodness. You know what? Now I'll use, hey Glenda, now I'll use this one. Now I can get in here and get this a little bit better, I think. There we go. Let's get it started. That's going to look kind of choppy. It's not going to look very smooth, my friends. Well, it is what it is. So now I only want to put some glue, if it'll come out of the bottle. Hey Glenda, how are you? Okay, so I'm just going to put some along the side and the bottom. And then it can be a tuck spot over here. So we can tuck something in here. So there we go. Let's make our envelopes real quick, you guys. Where's those other candy canes? Let's stick candy canes over here. Oh, it's under my head. Okay, there you go. All right, so now if we're gonna make our little envelopes, I'll show you how you make those. Oh, I wish I'd have made those in heavier paper, you guys. But we'll get this done real quick. So all you want to do, it's got some score lines on it, so go ahead and get those scored. Basically, you're just scoring around the back side rectangle of the envelope on all four sides. And then as long as I have this here, I'll go ahead and score the other one. I printed on both sides, and I remember thinking, this doesn't even make sense, but it'll give it something besides white color on the inside of the envelope. And again, just, you know, the four sides of the back of the envelope. Then you've got your top and your bottom ready to fold, and your little things to use for the glue tabs. So there's, you know, my goodness, I didn't know how much time I'd have to be able to, you know, get some things put together. And when you're starting from scratch to, you know, try to figure out your pages and how you want to lay them out, it takes a little bit longer, right? So thanks for bearing with me. Oh my goodness, it was almost perfect. And now this one, because, and when you're making envelopes, always pay attention to how far these come up. Sometimes you get envelopes that you've got it down here and this part of the tab still sticks up a little bit. When you've got something like that, you can't run your glue along the whole glue tab, because then it's going to be sticking out and you're going to have things stuck that you don't want stuck. So the best way to do that is know where that's going to land. Now on this one, I know I can do my whole glue tab and it's going to not be in the way, or I'm going to be sorry. Just keep your glue on there. And then we'll just get it folded up. Oh, you guys, if you've got any of these tiny little Velcro dots, these are thin, and I love these. They don't come stuck together. I stick mine together so that I can just clip them apart just like I'm going to show you. So this has the front and the back on here, and so I just clip off one like this, and then I just peel the backing off of one of them. Try to pull the backing off one. Okay, and they're already sticky. And then put it on the top of your flap there. Give it a good press. Take the backing off. And now then just fold it over. Don't do it too tight. And now you've got your little envelope seals. It's got its little Velcro closure. So that's a fun way to, you know, close your little envelopes if you want to. But I like those. And those actually are the Velcro brand, because I ordered some others and they were super thick. And I didn't really like the thickness of them. I just thought it was a little too much. Okay. Let's see. Now. Okay, that's right. Okay, and here's exactly what I was saying. So on this one, we don't want to glue all the way up there. And so what we're going to do on this one, to make sure that we don't glue farther than we want, we're going to glue, well, we're still going to mark where the top of this is, right here. Oh, that doesn't even have anything. We're going to mark where the top of this is, sort of close, just to it sort of close. Oh, that one has like a line in it. Okay, so I've marked that. And now I'm going to open this up. And on the glue flap, I'm going to put the glue along here. Don't use a lot because you don't want it to seep over and get into your envelope. Okay, so that. And then on this part, I'm going to glue the outer edge. Because these are like at a little angle. So if I do that, then I've got the whole thing sealed up. And then make sure that the glue hasn't come over, so you can like grab another paper or something. Do something and make sure you're not gluing it down. Grab something and just stick it in there like that. And then you got it. Thanks so much, you guys, for being with me today. It's been fun. Thank you, Heidi. Thanks for inviting me. I so appreciate it. And I wish I'd have gotten farther along. But anyway, you know, you get a chance to kind of see where this is going and all the fun, all the warm and coziness. I wish you guys all a warm and cozy season. And I hope that, I hope you stay well. I hope I get well. So that's always that's always what we're hopeful for, right? Let's see. And you can put this, where's our one we did our little pockets? Where's our little staggered pockets, you guys? I see some of those that are pages kind of duplicate awfully close together. Where's our staggered pockets? I wanted to put I could put my envelopes in there. That's like I dreamed them up. Seriously? Why is it when you look for something you never can find it? Oh, ta-da! So you can put your little, you got something fun to stick in there. We'll put another ornament in here. And we got some little tags. You guys, if you've got little ticket tags like this. Oh, I don't see my new hole punch. I just got a new little tiny, oh, here it is. All you have to do on these things is just use your hole punch right here. Oh, this hole punch isn't big enough. Well, shoot. Well, that's no bueno. I did not design that part. If I designed it, I would have made it to where a regular hole punch would have fit. You know what, though? Hey, I think I know how to fix this issue. I think if I cut the tags apart and then do this, there, I can make that work. So yeah, so then I can make that tag have its little pointy thing. So, well, that's good to know. That's good to know that'll still work like that. Because I was thinking, well, shoot, now I still don't have the right punch. You might have to put it in there a little deeper than whatever. But this is just like one of those cheapo ones, guys. So you can make it work. Just cut those corners out. Okay, my time is over, you guys. Thank you so much for having me again, Heidi. I really have enjoyed today. I can't wait to see what everybody else does today, you guys. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas, you guys.